Hello everyone. Today I will be ranking the Call of Duty Treyarch Zombies maps, including all the Dead Ops arcades, Onslaught and Outbreak. I did not include the BO4 extra modes due to not really playing them, and I did include Diner since it is technically it's a separate map, even if it's only locked to turned. So let's get started. We'll go from map release date, with a few exceptions where like all the Green Run maps were released all at the same time, except Diner, which was at the end. So let's start off with World of War Nocturne Toten. It's very, very basic. Oh, actually, let me set up some guidelines first. I'm gonna be ranking them as if you were playing them now, not as if they're brand new. So with the older maps, especially with Nox, for example, I won't be giving it any like slack for being such a basic map because yes, while it is old, now it does not hold up nearly as well. It might not be very fair, but that's what I decided to do. And every version of every map is in here. So World of War Knocked, Black Ops 1 Knocked, and Black Ops 3 Knocked are all in here since I think the differences between each game are major enough to change the rankings of the maps in some cases. And this is just out of personal enjoyment for me, with whatever like factors. So Easter eggs are included in some maps, others it's not. I'll only talk about an Easter egg though if I've already attempted it. So for some maps I won't mention it, but for others I will. I believe that's everything. So let's get started with World of War Nocturne Toten. So like I said, it's great at the time, but now it's extremely basic as there's no perks, no pack punch, no mini boss, nothing, just wall buys and the mystery box. It's still good though, it's fun. It's nothing special, but it's fine. I put it in mediocre as a result, as there's nothing really that stands out. And with how World of War's mechanics are, it makes it really buggy and kind of annoying with how closed off you are. But there's nothing like standout bad, so I'm gonna put it in mediocre. A little bit worse than the average, which is good, but it's sufficient, especially if you take into account the time. But I'm not. So World of War Verrucht, very similar to Nocturne Tone, except there's perks now. But I'd say do the more close quarters of this map, I'd say it's about the same quality, maybe a bit better than Noct. Because like I said, it did add traps, I guess, so it really helped high rounds, but I don't think that's enough to push it up to good. It's still fine, but it's extremely basic, and with how glitchy World War Zombies are, it makes it kind of a hard map to play nowadays. There's something else I was gonna say, but I don't remember, so let's ignore it. Shinonuma added the Wonder Waff, the first infinite damage wonder weapon, and more traps, and the first mini bosses. As a result, I'd say no, I don't think because it's definitely better than Varrock than Noct, no question. It's pretty underrated. It's not really talked about as much as World Warrior and Varrock. Probably because it was overshadowed immediately by Darius. But it's a pretty easy map if a bit on the boring side. It changed a lot as added the first infinite damage wonder weapon, like I said, and mini bosses both have been staples pretty much to the entire series since, especially the mini bosses and the dogs, especially, which are the mini bosses. Basically, every round that ends with a max ammo, always at least, is referred to as a dog round, even if it doesn't have dogs. So it's pretty fucking major, in my opinion. But nowadays, it doesn't really hold up as much. It's still a good map, definitely, but again, glitchy mechanics, the slowing water. I'm pretty sure I don't remember if it was the PC or console versions, but I remember one of them. It might have been the same with Feroct, but you could not see the perk prices, which was a huge issue as well. It was kind of annoying. Maybe not a huge issue, but it was annoying. It was good though. It's still a good map, but well, it's a good map, but it's still below average. I guess the average would be a better thing for this, but all average zombies maps are good. There's there there's nothing inherently bad. Everything except bad are actually pretty decent. I guess decent would be a better name for this. Let me change that. There. Now we have Darice. It added Pack-a-Punch. I'm gonna say push-up's great. Because not only has Pack-a-Punch been in basically every single mainline map in the entire series since, in one form or another, it has an infinite damage one weapon and mini boss again with guaranteed max ammos, and the map layout's exceptional with multiple great camping spots and multiple great training spots, along with plenty of traps and great locations. And it's just great. Another thing with these maps as well is that they all have very nice weapons, because while the World at War weapons weren't very strong, they were definitely fun to use. Probably the most satisfying sounding, as they were I'm pretty sure the only guns in the entire series, or at least in zombies, that actually use real weapons as a basis for the sounds, which is obviously huge. Now, I'd say one of the reasons that exceptional it's not going up in exceptional is because of the one off being able to take your own drug away permanently for the rest of the match, unless you're on co-op, is a huge problem. I don't know. I wasn't really playing zombies consistently until BO2, so I don't know. And I didn't play Darice until like a year or two after BO2. So I have no idea how the World of War like patching time like update thing was. How updates worked back then. Because I played mostly solo games. But they should have patched that. It's a pretty big issue. Or they at least should have patched it on Steam. It's kind of dumb they didn't. It's good that they patched it in future versions, but they should have patched it in this version too. But moving on. One last thing. That last reason, and another reason why it's not exceptional, is because one, the war, how good, sorry, how glitchy World at War still is because of the horrible knifing, the like black hole zombies where if you get hit once, you're basically stuck for like 3 seconds, and just the general glitchiness of this game keeps it out of exceptional. If this exact map with all its weapons and everything was, if there's like an unofficial patch or something, which there might be, but if it was like official and they really fixed the knifing, fixed the black hole zombies, and the Wonder Off, this would go up in exceptional. And that's why the other two Darices will probably be going exceptional, because Darice is a great map. It's just World at War holds it back, in my opinion. Now, Kino de Toten, very similar quality to Darice, except as a better wonder weapon. A better wonder weapon, not as good camping spots, but the refined BO mechanics, I'd say, is... No, I don't think the refined mechanics just nearly push it up enough. It doesn't help that BO1 guns kind of suck in terms of like actually killing and stuff. I'd still say it's a better map than Darice, but by barely almost nothing. The only reason it's higher, I'd say, is the Thunder Gun is better than the Window Off. That's the only reason. I don't think the map layout is nearly as good, but it's still a great map. Now, 5. 5 is kind of a hard map, at least for newer players, especially with the gun stealer that I don't remember the name of off the top of my head. I like the gun stealer. He should have been... I'll just call him the scientist. The scientist should have been in the remake, but because it is kind of tough and the wonder weapon's completely atrocious, and really there's only... If you want to camp, there's plenty of places, but the only really good spot to train is the teleporting room. I'd say it goes down good. It's still a great map, definitely. It's definitely above average, but not enough, I'd say, to push it up to great. That, and I haven't had that many experiences with this since I don't really play that map that much. Dead Ops Arcade. I'd say it's good. I haven't played any of the Dead Ops very much, but they're good side modes, but they don't have the same replayability that normal Zombies does. So they're probably all going to be good. Because they're all very similar quality. They'll probably be all at the bottom of good. they're good exceptions or good things to switch it up every once in a while if you're just playing one game. But they just don't have the same replayability as normal zombies, in my opinion. I mean, I guess if you really like that kind of mode or that kind of game, you'll like it a lot. But there's just because there's you can't just like switch weapons every time. Because every weapon's a power up. Basically, just because it doesn't have the same replayability as the rest of the mode, I keep it down good. Ascension, I'd say it's great. I'd say it's below the other two though because of the monkeys being really annoying. That and the pretty atrocious Black Ops 1 guns, and it also doesn't help that it didn't get a new wonder weapon. Because as nice as the Thunder Gun is, it would have been nice to have a new wonder weapon. But it's mainly the monkeys that hold this map back. It has probably the best training spots in all zombies, with the Lander near PhD and the Spawn being great training spots. Also, I'm pretty sure the spinning dodo thing, whatever it is, can kill zombies no matter what, and it will actually kill them rather than just make them respawn. So that's great. But the monkeys, not only do they steal your perks, it's really irritating, which basically, and in higher rounds especially, they become tough to kill. So by the higher rounds, you're basically guaranteed to not be able to have quick revive. And since they always take 2 thunder gun shots, they become a big problem in higher rounds. It means that basically until the extremely high rounds where you have a lot of points, you just can't have any more than 2 perks. Usually quick revive and jug, and then you have to use the thunder gun to protect quick revive, and then once that's done, you use the traps in order to kill the rest of them. It's not as bad in BO3 because, well, we're not at the BO3 version yet, so I'm not going to really talk about it. Call of the Dead. It's a fun map, but it has a problem of bad BO1 guns still. Romero being a complete dickhead all the way through, the fog being kind of annoying, the ice can get really annoying if you're not paying attention. The lack of max ammos, because of lack of like dog rounds or anything. Both the wonder weapons kind of suck. Even the scavenger's amazing. I think the VR11 is very creative. They still kind of suck, especially in solo at least. Especially in solo. I mean, I don't know why I said at least. Um, bottom of grade. Like I said, it's a pretty good map. It just I hate double hitting in Black Ops 1, 2, and World War. I think that was a stupid mistake. It makes it way too punishing before you get Jug. Especially with how much of a trek you have until you get to Jug. Most of the weapons suck in Black Ops 1. And like I said, the fog, the water, the Romero, all of that just compounds into a map that had a huge amount of potential. But because of Black Ops 1, I'd say kind of got screwed over. Because the layout's great, but... Okay, Shangri-La. I'm putting it good. I'd say about 5, because the Wonder Weapon's a lot better. It's a lot prettier than 5. It's bigger, so you can kind of just run around the entire map. I haven't played much of Shangri-La because, while I know it's a pretty good map, I'm not very fond of hard maps. I'm definitely more of a casual. I may have played for a very long time, ever since, at least sometime since World at War, and very consistently since BO2. But I'm still a casual. I'm not super great at the game. And if I want to play a game and have a hard time, I'd probably go to Dark Souls, or I guess if I wanted a horse shooter, I'd go to Killing Floor on higher difficulties. Zombies is not really where I want to do that with, because it is kind of just frustrating when on early rounds when you're trying to build up some points. Usually at round 2, especially since I don't usually play with audio. I get windmilled from behind and insta killed, and with how long it takes to get through the entire loading screen, half the time I just stop playing and go back to BO3 or something. But basically, I'm a casual, and all the Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and World at War maps suffer from that, in my opinion. BO1 Moon. I'd say it's above Ascension. Great layout. Although the Juggernog and speed call switching is annoying, and the astronaut that can steal your perks is annoying. Although he isn't too bad since he's pretty frail as long as you don't kill him every round. And the wonder weapon's great. The wave gun's amazing. One of the better wonder weapons. And I know Ascension added them, but the Matruskas, whatever they're called, and the QED, no, and the Ghost devices are great. They're great. They're great secondary grenades, and the QEDs are fun as hell. I know Moon added them, by the way. It's great map. The anti-gravity can be kind of annoying, and the muted sounds are definitely annoying. But and the fact you can't carry the hacker and the helmet at the same time. I understand that's there for balance, kind of, but it's still annoying. Now, Black Ops 1 knocked. I'd say it's worse than World War Knocked because it removed the flamethrower. Although I guess it did add the thunder gun though, and it's not nearly as glitchy. I'll put it above World War Knocked and Toten because while it removed the flamethrower, which kind of stunk because the flamethrower was fun, it also added the thunder gun, which was definitely an improvement. Plus, it's less glitchy, and it's just pretty much better. Although it sucks that with World at War you get knocked for free, but with knocked you do, or with BO1 you do not, which is definitely a negative. But also, I don't know if I said it, but Kino Detern's way overrated. It's a good map, but it's way overrated. I guess the reason is because it was the launch map. Otherwise, I think Derice would have been super overrated as well. Okay, Verrucht. I'd say it's better than World at War Verrucht, just because it does add the Winter's Howl, and it's less glitchy. It's not that big of an improvement, barely any really, but it's there. Although it does have the less interesting weapons in my opinion. I prefer World at War weapons over BO1 weapons, but that's an opinion. What I mean, this whole list is opinion. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, still great map, not great map, but decent map, I guess. Like I said, anything above bad are good, even if this is decent. Basically, bad is only for the maps that outright anger me whenever I try to play them. Like, no matter what, unless I'm playing with friends. Because I'm taking this in a perspective as a solo player, because I'm pretty much exclusively a solo player. And I am almost always in a good mood when I'm playing with other people. So that'd be kind of unfair. Shinonuma. I'd actually say it's worse, because you can't get the absurdly high rounds you can in World of War. I guess it's the same with Verrucht and Derice. Not Derice. I guess it's the same for Verrucht and Noct. But with those maps, it takes forever to get the high rounds anyways. And no one really does, because there's no infinite damage wonder weapons. Or, I guess Verrucht does have a trap, but it's in a really weird spot. And if you try to use it, you're more likely to trap yourself than you are to actually help. So, I'd say, like I said, Shidonuma is worse than BO1 Shidonuma is worse than World at War Shidonuma because you can't get that infinite round stuff, and otherwise it's just BO1's just a less glitchy version, but it still has a 2-hit system, which is annoying as fuck. And Derice, fuck it. BO1 Derice is amazing. It's better than World at War because it's less glitchy and the Wonder Wolf doesn't steal your fucking Juggernog. It's like I said, a more refined version of Derice is like nearly a perfect map in my opinion. I hate this cup. Sorry. Like I said, Kino would be up there too if it had more camping spots. Oh no, no, I'll pull it down because the BO1 guns still suck. It's a great map, but it's just barely there. With even slightly better, if it had BO2 weapons, it'd be an exceptional. BO2 Transit, yeah, like it can be fun, mainly if you haven't played it in like forever. But there's just so many problems with this map. There's the shitty pack-a-punch, the bus, the lava, the fog, the denizens, the Bowie knife placement, the fact that in town there's no fucking weapons for some reason, the mystery box, which obviously isn't even consistently there. Um, it still has the double hit system from BO2, so that's definitely a negative. There's no real redeeming qualities of Transit. It's probably been shown out a bit too much, but that's because it was a launch map, and it's just horrible. Although a remaster, or not remaster, a remake or reimagining would probably be pretty good, because a lot of the problems, like the fog, the lava, and the denizens, even the bus to an extent, all stem from the fact that PS3 and Xbox 360 could not handle transit very well. They were just too weak for it. So if we got a remaster in, or not remaster, a remake or a reimagining in Cold War, or maybe whatever the next Black Ops game is, it'd probably be pretty good. As long as they are willing to completely change the map entirely, like the BO4 ones were. I guess not like the BO4 ones. They haven't done a complete remake or reimagining that basically changes the entire map before, I guess. The closest, I guess, would be or not Mob Blood. No, the closest, no. Okay, sorry. Alpha Omega was like that. If we got a Transit remake similar to Alpha Omega, it'd be amazing. Probably. They could still screw it up, but eh. I think it'd be good as long as they didn't make it insanely tight for some reason. BO2 Bus Depot. I'm putting it below Noct because it doesn't have the personality that Noct does, and it's basically the exact same. It's basically no pack punch, and I believe it only has quick revive in solo. In co-op, it doesn't have anything. And it doesn't even have a proper one weapon. The only things it has is the ray gun Mark 1 and 2. Super basic, same kind of style as Noct, but it doesn't have that personality or that nostalgia. And I don't like BO2 weapons as much as World War weapons, especially with how many of them, for some reason, have unbelievably high recoil. I don't know why they did that. It just ruined so many weapons. Farm. I'd say still below Noct because while it does have perks, it still has like no personality, and it still reeks of Transit with the shitty color scheme and the fact that since Transit's so bad, in my opinion, it colors my opinion with Farm, Bus Depot, Town, and Diner. That since Transit's atrocious, it makes me feel more so that Farm and the other ones are also atrocious, even though they're really not. It also is just straight up recycled. I still think it's good. Like I think they should have done that with more base maps, since it gives it more variety among base game for people who don't want to or can't buy season pass. Although I guess with like Cold War it's not as big of a deal, but even then Cold War doesn't have any maps anyways. So in Town, it has Pack-a-Punch, perks, all that. I'll put it in between the two Shino Numas. Because while it's basically the equivalent of Reese, it's actually pretty. No, no. I'll keep it down here. Because it still doesn't have that much personality. It's still recycled. It still has that awful color scheme. It still has the fucking lava. Which I don't know. They should have just. What they should have done with, like, Town, Farm, Bus Depot, and maybe Diner, is they should have made them as if they weren't nuked yet. I think that would have been cool. Because then it would have been all bright and maybe even have recently killed victims and maybe have many Easter eggs. I think that'd be very cool. Maybe if they ever do a reimagining of Transit or a remake, they could remake these separate ones here with that idea. I think that'd be very, very cool and unique. Diner, I'd put in bad. Because turned, well, it was locked to turned. But turn wasn't horrible, but it wasn't fully fleshed out, and it had like no replayability. And now that, considering how old BO2 is, you can't play turned anymore unless you get a bunch of friends. And like I said, it has no replayability, and it's not even close to as fun as Dead Ops Arcade is, so I think it belongs about there. Nuketown, fuck this map. I hate this map so much. The random perks are beyond dumb. It'd be one thing if they were just in random spots around the map like Shino Numa. But the fact they come out at different intervals is horrible. And it wouldn't even be that bad if they were in like a reasonable amount, like all of them are down by round 15. But no, I think the last one can come down around fucking 30. Either that or 25 or something. It's way too late. Especially with the two-hit down system, there's a chance you could be sitting until like round 25 or 30 waiting for fucking Juggernog, which is inexcusable. Not to mention the mic is unbelievably tight, has no real wonder weapons, and is just a multiplayer recycle, even though they did change it up a lot. There's some cool things like being able to hear Marlton in the bunker, the bus, the transit bus, and being able to see the zombies' eye swap colors whenever, because it takes place at the same time as Moon. So that's pretty cool, but it doesn't save it. It's just this map sucks. It sucks so much. I hate it so much. It probably doesn't deserve to be bad, but in my opinion, it's horrible. Just a good bit better than Transit, but not even close to decent. It's still too much of a horrible map. Speaking of horrible maps, fuck Die Rise. One sec. I hate this map. Again, random perks. I don't know why they keep doing this. I guess that's one thing to be like Shinonuma, but I guess it is like Shinonuma, but with the elevators going up and down constantly. It's a nightmare trying to find what you want and then actually getting them. Cause like if you want speed cola later in the game, but you don't want it right away, if you run into it right away, you might not even remember where it was, and you might have to go researching. And even if you do, you have to track down that fucking elevator, since the stupid elevator key isn't infinite use. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea to not make it infinite use. They almost fixed it, but they didn't. So, not to mention the fact you can quite easily fall off the map if you're not paying full attention, or with the way the trample scene works, you could try to take a shortcut so you don't have to go around the entire map and take like 10 minutes, and then just fall to your death. And they teased PhD, even though it would have been the perfect fucking perk for this. It wouldn't have fixed it completely, but it would have got rid of fall damage. You would only die then by zombies and falling off the side of the map, which still happens often enough. But just the fact that I have to worry about not only the zombies killing me in the shitty 2-hit down system, I also have to worry about fucking fall damage and falling off the map as well. Thanks. Not to mention Who's Who. One of the worst perks ever. I'm happy with the way they did it in Cold War. The concept's fine. It's just the way they did it was dumb. The fact you're completely defenseless. Like, what they should have done, maybe is at the bare minimum give you your guns back. Because you'd still be able to down 2 hits. If you ran too close so hard, you'd probably get swiped by some zombies and killed instantly. Or maybe if they give you all your stuff and make you like maybe half speed, so you're definitely weaker so you're definitely worse than before, but you still stand a chance. Or maybe just give your entire loadout back, but then make your guns as if they were never back punched, which I guess on early rounds doesn't mean anything, but on later rounds that would be a pretty big thing. It would be enough to actually defend yourself, and maybe so you don't have to sit around training for an hour trying to get yourself an opening to fucking pick yourself up. And the mattresses as well, they don't work half the time. Half the time they just bug out, and you die anyways, or take a fuck ton of damage, even if you land directly on them. And that one elevator shaft, which is I believe directly above the A94, it's so easy for you to just fucking slide slightly too fast in that and then die. I fucking hate this map so much. It also doesn't help that anything except the top of the map has no color and has no real significance to the storyline. I mean, it does have a little bit, but barely. I don't like this map. Also, the armored zombies are kind of annoying, at least in earlier rounds. Especially with the 2-hit down system. If you think you're gonna one-shot the zombie, and then you don't, and just kind of sit there since you think you're gonna one-shot him, well, you're dying because of the 2-hit down system. I just don't like this fucking map. It did introduce the SVU, PW, and the A94 though. 2 of them being some of the best weapons ever, with the SVU probably being the best sniper in all of zombies. And the A94 being one of the best ARs on the wall out there, especially before BO3. Which is great. Map of the Dead. I love this map. I don't play it super often because it does kind of get annoying having to do the same thing repeatedly by building the plane and then refueling it, and because of the 2-hit down system, I don't like on BO2. But everything else has some of the most unique weapons with a fucking minigun that isn't a power up. You have the AK-47, which is the only one in the entire series outside of Cold War. for some reason. You have the Blundergat, which is one of the more interesting wonder weapons. Two different paths you could upgrade it to, which is, I believe, the first example of this in the entire series, or the entirety of zombies, with the Vitrolic Withering and the Sweeper, with the Sweeper being a buffed version of the Blundergat, which completely annihilated Brutus, even though the guy was a complete pushover. And the Vitrolic Withering, which is basically a monkey bomb dispenser. It's great. Love this map so much. Although I think it's a little bit too tight, but I guess that's what they were going for. With the 2-hit down system, that becomes a problem, though. Also, the Hell's Retriever, Redeemer, and Golden Spork are great. I love them. Also, going back to Transix, I forgot to mention it. The fucking jet engine. I don't remember this full name, but it looks cool. It sounds cool, but it's a piece of junk. It breaks way too quickly. It shouldn't even break. Just make it if you like exhaust. It's like if you hold the trigger down too long, you just can't use it for like half a minute or something. It'd be still annoying, but at least you wouldn't have to fucking build it if you're a noob. So I wonder how many times noobs have been like, "Oh, I got this cool ass wonder weapon." You use it to obliterate half of like a horde of zombies, and then it breaks and they lose it because BO2 is glitchy, and you just I I'm it's not Transistor. I'm sorry. I'm just shitting on it even further. Buried. I'd say probably the best casual map ever. It has the variety that BO2 had. It had Voltrays as well. One of the coolest perks that unfortunately never returned. Great layout. I love the mansion. The theme of like a buried, like old western town's amazing. I love Leroy. Paralyze is one of the coolest wonder weapons, being able to make yourself fly. I love the time bomb. I think it's so fucking cool. Being able to like revert time. Although I bet you that's annoying online. If someone puts it like right at like round 5 or something, and then you get to round 30 and then he just fucking reverses it. That sounds incredibly irritating. But it's still a very fun map. And if I want to play casual zombies, I usually go to this map. If I'm willing to pull out my PS3 though. BO2 Origins. Yeah. Okay. Origins is great. I think everybody sucked its dick enough times, but these stabs are great. Even if some of them are poorly balanced, or even if they're poorly balanced, they're great. I still love the idea of 4 wonder weapons. It makes it so everyone in the match, as long as they're willing to work for it, is able to get a wonder weapon. The map itself is cool. I love the idea of like a World War One battlefield kind of thing, and I love the background where you see all the planes flying around shooting at each other. You're seeing all the bullets flying around, explosions. It's awesome. The giants are amazing. Some of the coolest environmental, uh, some of the coolest environmental dangers in the entire series, and just the fact that there's metal giants just walking around on a fucking World War One battlefield. It's awesome. And the fact you build the wind staff from those giants is amazing. Not to mention it has one of the cooler Easter eggs out there, at least with the name. It's the steps in the Vorkuta mission in BO1. I think that's like an awesome reference. His Origins was great. There's a few problems, like the mud is annoying, and the Panzer is maybe a little overpowered, or it definitely comes in a little too early. It should come in around 10 rather than 8, in my opinion, but excuse me, it's just a great map. Shadows, fucking love this map. I love the Apothecary Servant. I love the lighting in this map. I think it's the best in the entire series. This map is so gorgeous. I love it so much. The atmosphere is great. The characters are great. It has a nice Easter egg too. I did it once. It wasn't too bad. It just sucks that you can't do it solo. They should have made it like Call of the Dead's one where there's just different Easter eggs for solo and co-op. The Margot's like the perfect fucking boss for this, since you have probably the most busted wonder weapon in all zombies. But you also have probably, other than the Panzer, maybe the strongest mini boss in the entire series. I fucking love this map so much. I didn't like it at first because it shouldn't have been a launch map. Giant should have been a launch map, or at least should have been a launch map alongside it. But it's a great map. If you don't like this map, you barely played it, give it a few more chances. Get the get the sword and stuff. Get the apothecary servant and stuff. This map is fucking amazing. The giant, I'd say like bottom of exceptional for the time being. Because like I said, it has all the positives of the race, but it's even less glitchy. It has a 3-hit down system, which is way better. It has stamina up or dead shot, which is great. Even though I think it's kind of annoying that you have to use the monkey bombs to get them, but it's fine. And it's the BO3 engine, which I think is the best engine we've had. I love this. I love Giant so much. I've played that map so. It's probably the map I've played the most because of grinding weapon levels and stuff. Or if I just want to play casual, it's almost always this map. The only reason I don't go back to Buried is because I prefer BO3 over BO2, and because BO2's last gen and BO3's, I guess technically last gen as well, but BO3's last gen and BO2's last gen, so I don't have to pull out an old console. BO3 Dead Ops Arcade or Dead Ops Arcade 2. I'd say it's a bit better than BO1 Dead Ops Arcade just because there's more in it. Specifically, first person was awesome whenever first couple times I used it, and all the new power ups like the tank, the wraiths. Was it the wraiths? It was like the meatballs. Um, it's fun. It's not like amazing, but it's a nice change of pace, especially in the BO3. It adds to the BO3's even already insane collection of maps and just maps, I guess. And then Der Eisendrache, my favorite map of all time, probably because it was when I was most into BO3. I remember that whenever it came out right before school, I got to play for like a half an hour, and oh fuck, I love this map so fucking much. That that first experience cemented it as one of the most balanced Easter eggs out there. Like it had the first proper boss fight in Treyarch Zombies. No, I guess it was the second, but it had the first proper difficult boss fight in Treyarch Zombies. It has the bows, which are one of the more balanced for Wonder Weapons. I've only ever used the Storm Bow and the Wolf Bow, though. Actually, I think I've used the Void Bow, so I just haven't used the Fireball. I know that. It's a great map. The Ragnaroks are a great specialist. I think the best we've ever had because they're pretty easy to get, but they're also incredibly fun. The Panzer bounces out greatly, especially because it appears maybe a bit too late, but it appears late enough that you're not overwhelmed like you are in BO2. Although I guess with the stronger weapons, they probably could have made them appear around 8, and it would have been pretty balanced. Not to mention, it has probably the simplest wonder weapon ever, which is the Wrath of the Agents, which is just the equivalent of the Hell's Retriever. Excuse me, which is absurdly easy to get, and it's still sufficient if you don't want to upgrade it. And this map is very pretty as well. It's gorgeous. I don't think it's as pretty as Shadows of Evil, but it's still a very, very pretty map. I love Der Eisendrache. I think it's like Origins, but perfected, pretty much. Setsubo no Shima. Uh, I'll put it here. Because the main problem with Setsubo is that the doors are too expensive. It makes getting set up without gobblegums or mega gobblegums awful. But if you do use mega gobblegums or once you're set up, it's a very fun map. Although the KT4 and its upgrade are definitely too hard to get. Skull and Stopway is probably the most creative weapon in the entire series. It's just basically a skull. That's just awesome. That's just really cool and it's very creative. Like I said, if the doors were cheaper and the thrashes were limited or either limited down to maybe one every other round, or to only appearing every other round or every 2 rounds, and there's only like two at max at a time or max per round, and they gave you some sort of reward like maybe 500 points for killing them, maybe 1,000. I think that'd be great. Hell, if they wanted, they could scale the thrashers better in early rounds, make them a little bit more common in early rounds, and then maybe so when killed they give like 1,000 points or something. That would help towards the doors being super expensive. But it's a great map. It's very pretty. It has a great atmosphere. But the main problem is that without megas, you're not gonna have a very fun time trying to get through this map, which really sucks. Gorod Krovi, I don't like this map very much. It's still a good map. I'll put top of good, but I think people overhate this map so much. It's a decently simple map, but the dragons are annoying and they make training a lot less fun. The specialist is way too fucking annoying to get. The shield's probably the coolest shield in the entire series, so that's definitely a plus. Pack-a-punching is good. Main problem is the Easter egg. The fucking like that like 3 or 4 week period where I tried to do this solo fucking traumatized me pretty much. And I haven't completed it. Well, I technically completed it twice, but it bugged out both times because on PS4 and Xbox One for some fucking reason, like 4 years after launch, or probably like more like 3, it was still fucking bugged, and like half the time you couldn't even complete it because it would crash right at the end of the cutscene. So you would lose your gobblegums and you would not complete the Easter egg. Which yeah, that made me hate this map a good bit, but I know it's still a good map. It's great because it brought back some of the other weapons, specifically the PPSH, which is nice. The Mark III is fine. It's not like amazing to me or anything, but it's more than sufficient. It really has enough potential. A lot of potential. The dragons are cool, but I think the way they did them was stupid. I think you should have been able to make it so they just would stop breathing fire in places somehow, maybe by getting the dragon head or something. But it's a good map. It's just the Easter egg made me fucking hate it, and the Easter egg is awful. Not only was, like I said, was it glitchy, but the steps were dumb. Like that fucking the bomb defusal, the Maxis thing, where if you didn't have the Mark III, good fucking luck killing it. And the boss fight's ridiculously hard for solo, unless you use near death, which is what I did. Main problem with it for me though is the fucking Easter egg's ass. It took way too long to get fixed properly. And also to help this map's fucking heralded as like the best map in the entire series by like a lot of YouTubers, which really pisses me off. It's way overrated. I definitely put it too low, but you know what? Here, I'll put it there. I still don't like this map very much, but it's still a good map. Hell, it probably even belongs in exceptional, but my hatred of the Easter egg makes it so I just fuck around Grovey. Revelations, I will put above Ascension. No, I'll put it above Moon as well. It's a very, very easy map, which is great, but I think the main problem is that almost every area in the entire map is recycled from other maps, which is fine. But I think they should have added some more custom areas. I did not even try the Easter egg on this. Apparently it's really annoying. But I'm not, like I said, I didn't even attempt it, so I'm not going to really take it into account. Like I said, I think they should have added more new areas to it. They should have added more new areas. I think that was a huge mistake. But it's still a fun map with some of the most fun wonder weapons in the form of the Apothicon Servant and the Thunder Gun. It also had the Ragnarok, the Grog Krovi Shield, and the Arnie's, which by the way was a Shadows of Evil thing, which I love that. I love the Arnie's. I think they're the best monkey bombs we ever had. It's all fun, but I would have rather had new stuff. Like I think it was a big mistake in not giving us the original staves. I really want to see the OG staves. I don't think we'll ever see them, but considering how strong the new staves are, I want to see what the original, more powerful ones look like. And we're like, I would probably never see them, but I would love that. BO3 and Octara and Toten. I'll put it up here because since there's the Wonder Fizz and Gobblegums and better weapons. I think this map has way more playability replayability than old Noct. Same thing with Verruct. I'd say in this case actually Verruct is worse because you can access all the Noct. On Noct you can access all the perks. And Verruct's layout I don't think it's as good as Nox, even if you do have the Wonder Waff. Pretty sure Noct you still have the Thunder Gun though. You know, Uh, I'd I'd say it's still worse. I'd say it's worse than Knock though, because just the fact you have the Thunder Gun really is a huge thing in Knocked, and I just like Knocked more as like a layout than Shinonuma. I like the bunker aesthetic and the creepy night thing. Even in BO3, the map's kind of creepy. And the reason World War Shino is not as good as BO3 Shino, in my opinion, is because while World War definitely has better high rounds, I still think overall I don't think the incredible high rounds over can quite outdo just general playability, in my opinion. BO3 Kino I think is a bit better than BO1 Kino because you don't have that two down system. You have better weapons, or at least stronger weapons. And that's really it. It's a prettier map, in my opinion. It's not really that big of an improvement. And I guess if you don't like BO3 weapons that much, then you probably you definitely put it below BO1. But I don't mind I don't mind fake looking weapons, or at least not the BO3 versions. And I think the fact that since it's way easier, you have Gobblegums, which has a lot of replayability. You have more perks, and just the better mechanics of BO3. I think it's enough to push it over BO1. BO3 Ascension, same thing. I think it's better than BO1 Ascension because you can kill the monkeys easier. You have more perks to get access to, especially double tap that for some reason wasn't in the original. Although it really sucks, PhD got removed. That's definitely a huge negative. But I still think the easier killing of the monkeys, especially on higher rounds, is a bigger positive. Since one, the BO3 weapons are overall just straight up stronger, and you have the infinite damage, alternate ammo types, which is a huge, huge buff. BO3 Shang. Uh, I think it's better, definitely better than the BO1, but I don't think it's enough to push it up to great. Because apparently they made the baby maker worse. Because now you get stuck when trying to run through them rather than BO1 where you just kind of ran through them without getting caught or anything. Again, 3 hit down system makes early rounds a lot easier. And just the fact you're a lot stronger makes the map much easier in my opinion. Also, it's a lot prettier. It's one of the better remasters in terms of looks. BO3 Moon, what do you know? Same thing. I think it's better. Again, 2 down system or 3 down system. Just generally better mechanics, prettier. Moon's also one of the better remasters. It's very, very pretty. Also, the extra things they added to the QED was great. I still think they should have made it so the hacker device was able to be held alongside the helmet. But, I guess they didn't want to change the gameplay that much. So, BO3 Origins, I'd put it here. I'd say it's worse than BO2 Origins because the mud. It's a weird reason, but the mud is just way, 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 way worse in BO3. And the fact, I think the original BO2 Origins had some of the better weapons. Some of the better weapons in the entire series, like the Scar and the KSG and the Scorpion. It sucks that those weapons never returned. I think it's overall just worse than BO2 Origins. I think it's worse enough that it also gets pushed below Mob, which is unfortunate. Next, we have Voyage. Fuck this map. I'd say it's better than Transit and Die Rise and Nuketown and Tyner, but it's still an awful map. It's way too close quarters with how aggressive the BO4 zombies are and with how weak your guns are. The wonder weapons are cool, like a multi-barrel cannon. I think that's fucking awesome, and apparently the boss fight's really good. But I don't think that saves it from how fucking close quarters it is, and the disappointment of the fact that the Titanic was reduced to this. I think it would have. It also didn't help that apparently the Easter egg had nothing to do with like the actual Titanic. It was it didn't feel like you were on the Titanic. The Titanic. It did not feel like you were on the Titanic. It felt more like you were on a random cruise ship in the older days. Not to mention, I hate the shield in BO4, or at least the gun shield. I think it's stupid as shit. Um, I'm putting 9 right at the top of great. I think if it was in BO3, it'd be an exceptional. But because of BO4's awful mechanics, it gets dropped down with the boring ass fucking perks. I hate the main boss of the main like mini boss. Not like any of the Easter egg bosses, but like the spider thing, the spider looking thing. I hate how its weak point is in the most inconvenient spot it could possibly be in. I hate how hard it hits. I hate how it can grapple you. And something that the entirety of Chaos has. I hate, I hate the Catalyst zombies. It ruins it for me. There's just Call of Duty Zombies was not built for that many random types of zombies, especially with how fucking annoying they are. Like the buffing one, the the lightning one, and the fire ones are fine because they're basically the boss zombies in Shangri-La, but a little bit weaker. But it's mainly the ice one, the buffing one. That one's the one that pisses me off. Also, I don't like the axe throwers. They're really annoying. And I believe they're the Marauders. The ones with the claws that jump and start slashing like crazy. Because even if you're directly behind them, they'll still hit you while slashing, which has killed me more than it should have, but it's annoying that it killed me at all. It's just a bad hitbox they should have fixed. I guess they did it to make it more of a threat, but they should have made it so if any of his hits connected, it would slow you down slightly. So you would have a harder time getting away from him, or maybe instead of that, if you got hit, it would cause like a bleed effect for like 2 seconds to take like maybe an extra 15 or 30 health down from you. I think that would have been fine. Also, doesn't help that when a weapon while creative is kind of awful. It's like a shit um Wonder off. Whatever. Moving on. No, before I move on, it's because like I said, it's a great map. It has a great layout. I love the atmosphere. I love the crowd system. Like I said, just BO4 completely ruins it, which I think brings it down to great. Which I guess that shows how great of a map it is. That even with BO4's awful systems and all the things I still think it's a great map. Like for example, if you went into private match or custom mutations, I guess, and got rid of all the catalysts, all the boss zombies, it'd be if that was the base version, it'd be an exceptional, no question. But people hate this map a lot more than I do. Like, yeah, it's definitely a lot worse than Mob, but I don't mind it that much, to be honest. It's probably the one on before I've played the most because I stopped playing like consistently almost immediately after Talk came out. Otherwise, I probably would have played that one the most. But it's like I don't like Classified that much for some reason. I know it's a better map than BO4. I just don't like playing it as much. I think it's because of the annoying pack punch. But or maybe because I got used to Blood. But I don't mind this as much. Also, I've never even looked up what the Easter egg steps are, which people hate apparently. So I'll put it right here. I think it's maybe overhated, but then again, I never played the Easter egg, and I think I just got used to it since it's a relatively simple map. I like how they buff Brutus. I hate how they removed the bridge. I hate how they fucked up the roof. Um, I hate how they butchered the Vichok Withering, but I like the Magma Gat. And I still think the 3 hit, or I guess in this case, like 5 or 4 hit down system of BO4, I think is still better than BO2. But it's not even close to enough to pull you above Mob. There's just so much wrong with Blood. I think it's overhated, but it's still not an amazing map. I think it's just a little bit, just very. It's basically, in my opinion, directly on average. Classified. I think it's definitely better than 5, but I put it at bottom of great. Um, I like how they fixed the fucking Wonder Weapon, which is how I like how they fixed that. I like how the zombies made it a little bit easier or the engine made it easier. I do not like how they fuck with the perks. What a surprise. I don't like the weapons in BO4 that much either. But I still think 5 is a good layout. I like how they widened it a little bit. At least I think they did. Yeah, I like how they added little Easter eggs in that moon. And the moon pack, which I think is great. But because of BO4, I think it's dropped down here. Like I said, if it was in BO3, I'd probably put it like somewhere around here. I don't know. I don't know. I think this map's super underrated. But I'd still put it here. I love the werewolves. The werewolves are super cool. I don't think I've ever encountered the red vampire, whatever the fuck it's called. But the the normal ones aren't really that bad to me. I guess the health drain's kind of annoying, but I haven't really played that map that much. But nothing really stood out as bad to me, other than BO4. The Wonder Weapon's cool. I like how there are 3 versions of it, and they're all direct upgrades. So that's kind of cool. I like how you can get a guaranteed version of it from the display case, which you can kind of just brute force. Because there's only, 16 combinations? Or maybe it's 12. There isn't that many combinations, so you can, if you want, you can brute force it, which is great. I do not like the Pack-a-Punch. The Pack-a-Punch steps are stupid. Actually, for that, I don't like the Pack-a-Punch. But other than the Pack-a-Punch, I think it's great. I think it's a pretty good map. Again, BO4 ruins it. If it was in BO3, I'd put it somewhere up here, maybe. Definitely behind Classified, though, because of the fucking Pack-a-Punch. Ancient Evil. Bottom exceptional. Again, if this thing was in BO3, I'd probably put it all the way up here. Right? Either in between Shadows and Rise Jack or in between Origins and Shadows of Evil. But because of BO4, it ruins it. I still don't like the boss from 9. But I like the new boss. He's pretty neat. He's a little easy, maybe, but I think he's fine. The Wonder Weapons are I think it's the map with the best Wonder Weapons of the entire series. The hands are all super fun. They're extremely easy to get, and they're probably the most balanced. There's probably a clear best one. No, think about it. No, there's no clear best one or clear worst one. But they all they don't like tread over the same spot too much. They all kind of are different in their own ways. So depending on the way you play the game, it will definitely determine which one you'll use. But they're all amazing. All of them are viable. It's great. The only thing I wish is I could use Mule Kick and have 3 of them at once. That'd be fun as fuck. I don't think you can do that though. Um, there's something else. Oh, I love the fact that part way through the getting the Wonder Weapons, you can just like a minute period where you can just fucking spam them, and that's so fucking fun. The only thing I don't really like off the top of my head is the blood hand where you just don't regenerate health. That's really annoying. It never killed me, but then again, I've only ever gone for it twice. If I did it more, it would have killed me a few times, but it's it's way too annoying. Like maybe if there was a dupe or decoy, like hands that you had to grab, and there was only the ones you needed, that'd be fine. But with the dupes and you have to stop every once in a while, that's really annoying. Especially because I guess if you accidentally end the round while in that mood, good fucking luck not dying. Try to survive a round without regenerating health, especially with how high of a round you're probably going to be on. Alpha Mega, fuck this map. I'd actually say somehow it's worse than Nuketown. It's way too close quarters for BO4. I like the ray guns, but they're a nightmare to get. And to my knowledge, you can't get them in custom mutations, which is beyond stupid. I hate the power with all this. It'd be fine if they didn't spawn a bunch of those stupid crawlers, but they do. So, let's mention like I said, I hate the crawlers in that mode or in that map. I think they're stupid as shit. I hate this map. I don't have much to say about it because I played it a total of 5 times. I hate this map so much. Honestly, it's probably not I hate the most, but I know it's not worse than Transit or Diner. How realistically speaking, it probably could go just below Voyage, but I fucking hate this map so much. Especially because how hype it was, because people were really hoping for DLC 3 to bring it back, bring BO4 back from the brink. But no, it broke it. It made it even worse in my opinion. Plus, it sucks because another minor thing, I guess, is that the screen thing is a compilation of a bunch of different zombie screenshots, which is awesome. It just sucks it led to such an awful map. Then we have Tog the Toten. Buff classified, I guess. Uh, yeah, I hate the Wonder Weapons on this map. The new Wonder Waff fucking sucks. I hate what they did. I don't know why they. For some reason, they made the Wonder Waff worse, even though it was kind of just a little bit under average for Wonder Weapons in the entire series at this point. In the entire series at this point, I don't know why they made it worse. The fact you have to get headshots to actually use it properly is so dumb, especially for a Wonder Weapon. Like, really? The Thunder Gun is just straight up a worse version of the Thunder Gun. So I don't know why you'd ever upgrade unless you're just curious. Especially because you can get the Thunder Gun from the mystery box as well. And it's also unfortunate because they could have brought back the VR11 and the Scavenger and buffed them, but instead they went the lazy route. I don't know why they did that. I would have loved to see the Scavenger buffed. That was such a fun Wonder Weapon. Frankly, if they had the OG Wonder Weapons just buffed, it'd probably be like around here, maybe above Garad. But, like I said, other than that, there isn't really any problems other than BO4. So I'd say that's about where it belongs. One other thing, I hate the ending. Like, yeah, I understand the idea of going out with kind of, rather than a bang, instead with like a whimper. Something, there's like a quote around that. But I would at least give us a cutscene of personally killing Monty. Or at least give us a fucking animated cutscene. The fact that the only maps in BO4 either that had animated cutscenes were classified in blood is beyond dumb to me. Like it was supposed to be the final fucking cutscene in the entirety of Aether Zombies, and they made it comic style. Fuck off. So disappointing. Such a disappointing map. So it is. It's a fine map, but it's disappointing, and I hate it for it. D Machine. I love D Machine. I've played this map so fucking much, but I love it. I'll put it here. No, I'll put it here. I love D Machine. It's such a good map. I think the Megaton was a little bit strong at first, but I think it's about balance now. Basically, as long as you have Deadwire, he's pretty easy to kill. I hate the Lycons on the map. I hate how they basically teleport up to you, and you just can't fucking kill them. And the fact they don't have headshot hitboxes is beyond dumb. So with the Magnum, or especially the snipers, it's a nightmare trying to kill them, like, quickly, before they get into a horde. But otherwise, the map layout is amazing. I like how they kept Knocked in there, but didn't make it so blatantly just a re just so they. I like the way they brought Knock back without making the focus of the map. It's kind of just another part of the map, but it's significant enough that it belongs there. But it's not so significant it overshadows the rest of the map. I think it's like the perfect balance. One thing though is I think they need to buff the dies. They all kind of suck. The fact that the best one probably is the upgraded one is really stupid. They just need to buff those dice so much. I've not used them since maybe the first month of the game's launch because they're not very good. Although I like how easy it is to get the base die. That's great. I love the coffin dance. That's such a great concept, and I hope they bring that back for all of Cold War. However many maps we have left. I love D Machine. It's very good. Although I have not played the next gen version, I've only played the PS4 version, so I have no idea what the new version looks like. Because of fucking scalpers, I literally can't get a PS5 right now, which is incredibly irritating. Now, Dead Ops Arcade 3. I think it's the best version of Dead Ops, but like I said, it doesn't have much replayability. What do you expect? It's a great side mode, again, if you want to just play something else. But it's not something I think most people would play very, very consistently. Onslaught. Normally, I'd probably put it, like, right here. But because it's a fucking version exclusive, even if I get to play it, I'm putting it down here just on principle. Entire fucking mode should not be locked behind a certain fucking console. Fuck off. It's bullshit. Maybe if it was only for the first month, but for the entire year, basically the entire game's life cycle, or by the point it becomes available to the other two platforms, no one fucking plays it because they're onto the next game. It's beyond dumb. It's good. It's actually a legitimate good mode. Basically what it is, it's just like a orb roaming around whatever multiplayer map you're on, and you have to kill zombies or elites, or just slowly upgrade your weapons and survive as long as possible. It's a great concept. It's pretty fun, especially the random munitions. I think it's awesome. But because it's a fucking not version exclusive, a console exclusive, out of principle, I'm putting it at the bottom of decent. Just, actually, let me add one more thing. How the fuck do I add more? I don't even know if I spelled it right, but fuck you, Activision. You ruined a great mode out of your fucking greed. You fuckers have billions of dollars, but you stop being fucking greedy bitches. There's no fucking reason. No one's gonna buy the PS4 version or the PS5 version of Cold War for fucking Onslaught. No one. Or if not no one, very few people. Fuck off. You're just being needlessly stupid at this point. You're barely getting anything out of it, and you're just pissing people off. Fuck off. I'd put Firebase Z right above D Machine. I haven't played it as much, but that's because I'm pretty sure Turned doesn't get you weapon kills for your like camo challenges. So that's the only reason, because that and killing the mimics is a little bit more annoying. That and early on the like getting the power and pack punch on is kind of annoying on repeat playthroughs, since either you knife and you don't get weapon XP, or you try to shoot zombies in the head and you miss all the time. So it's kind of annoying. That's the only reason I don't play this map much. Once I get Dark Metal on all my guns, or Dark Ether, I'll probably play this map almost entirely from now on. Although I don't like the Covenant equivalent in this as much, you shouldn't have to stare at the fucking bunny is so long. You should just have to shoot one full clip and be done with it. But otherwise, it's great. I think the elites are more balanced in this map. I think the layout's better. I love the boss rounds with like the Yorda and stuff. I think that's great. Other than that, it's just a great map. It's exceptional. And it's basically every positive that I said with the machine, and every positive that comes with Cold War, in a great map package, or a great map layout, I guess. Cold War's hit it out of the park so far, because even like I said, Onslaught, even though I fucking hate how it's locked to a certain console, it's still great mode. Speaking of Outbreak, I have not played this mode that much, but I know it has much potential. Main problem is it takes fucking forever, but then again, that's probably me just being kind of OCD. So I'll put it at bomb. I'll put it at very top of great. It's not really my thing, but that's because I have some OCD in me, and I like going for everything I see. That, and I've been grinding out Dark Aether so much, I haven't really taken the time to just enjoy the game for the time being. I think once I can just relax and I have Dark Aether, I think I'll fucking love it. And maybe it might go up to exceptional even. But we're all done. I've seen some other zombies YouTubers do this kind of thing, so I figured I might as well. Or I might as well. It's in my list. I think it's about accurate to me. Maybe I could bump 9 up to exceptional, but that's about it, really. I think I did a good job. Like I said, this is my opinion on the map tiers. So I couldn't really do any gameplay because I can't fucking edit for shit. That I don't really have a good way of recording every map anyways. So maybe if in a year or two, if I get a capture card, I might be able to redo this video with some new opinions, the rest of the Cold War maps, maybe whatever's after that. It's some actual gameplay. We'll see. But regardless, I hope you guys, everyone enjoyed this. Remember, this is all my opinion. If you had the exact same opinions as me, I'd be fucking worried. Same thing with any other ranking of anything. If you had the exact opinions of another person, you should be worried, and you're probably taking after them a little too much. But regardless, thank you for watching. Have a great day, and definitely stay safe out there.